Here's what happened. Firefighters tell us that the car was coming off 35, was here on the access road. The plane came in from this direction. It then hit this rock wall here. That is where the wing crashed into the rock, and then it spun around and ended up back here in this position. Well, Delane, it's a mess, and the cleanup's going to take a while. Rockin' Our River Rides lost 30 of its vehicles in this flood, trailers and buses that were just washed away. This is one that crews were able to recover and pull from the water. Yeah, we've got some of those fans here with us right now. What do you think about tonight's game?
Just going down!
I've been checking in with emergency management teams in the Emergency Operations Center in Cameron County in Brownsville and here in South Padre Island. That's right, Elsa. The deaths of Greg and Alex Bruler have been difficult for the couple's friends and family and for other cyclists who worry about their own safety on the roads. Tonight, they wore special black bicycle-shaped pins for a memorial ride. As people first started arriving at Boerne City Hall tonight, nobody knew just how many cyclists to expect. But they just kept coming, one after another, ready to ride.
I'm just coming out here to support this family. You know, it's just very tragic.
With traffic stopped, they made the turn onto Blanco Road, through downtown Boerne and on to St. John's Lutheran Church, where family had gathered for a memorial service for Greg and Alex Bruler.
Just a very caring couple with a wonderful daughter who unfortunately doesn't have a mom and dad anymore.
7-year-old Kylie Bruler stood outside the church.
She's going to need some help, isn't she?
The cyclists formed an honor guard, and the girl waved to them.
It's hard to hold back tears.
Her grandfather, Greg's dad, stopped to thank each person one by one. With all of them in a line, you could count close to 300 cyclists, united by their sport, their sorrow, and their support for a family. The cyclists say they're not only mourning the loss of Greg and Alex, they're also rallying to raise awareness for cycling safety on the roads. Many of the people that I spoke with tonight had their own stories about being hit by a car, and they're now asking drivers to please share the road. Leila Walsh, News 4 WOAI. Well, Randy, what a night. It all started here at this convenience store near Broadway and Mulberry. You can see officers are still here, and they're also still up the street as this crime scene extended for 2 blocks. Those who saw it tell us it was like a scene out of a movie, and police say this man was at the center of it all. After robbing a convenience store and grabbing a detective's gun, causing it to go off, officers say the man was looking for a place to hide and tried 2 restaurants.
He just ran back and forth, and he went through the kitchen, through the back door.
Rose Sengsorath says she was worried about her customers and her mom, who was in the kitchen.
Eventually heard something on top of the roof, and I think he was on top of the roof.
Police say the man was hiding on a rooftop 2 blocks away from the convenience store that he allegedly robbed. He's accused of showing the clerk a gun, jumping the counter, and grabbing the cash. Police say the man wanted the clerk's car keys, but she locked him in the store and ran out. Officers say that's when the man kicked out a window and jumped out.
The store was being robbed. The suspect is walking away from the door with his hands full of money. The detective draws his weapon, orders him to stop.
He dropped the cash and then went for the detective's gun.
He drops the money, reaches out and grabs the gun, the detective's gun. The gun goes off. He runs. He runs for about 2 blocks.
And investigators say that suspect was eventually taken down by a customer at another restaurant when that suspect showed up and demanded that customer's car keys. We're told that's when the man, the customer at the restaurant, took him down and held the man on the ground until police got here. We're live on the north side. Leila Walsh, News 4 WOAI. They were all over the road near Thousand Oaks and I-35 on the northeast side.
I saw all these pink papers everywhere.
This man, Alan, he didn't want to give me his last name, picked up some of them.
I'd say there's probably a few hundred out there. I got my cell phone out and just started recording video on it to show everyone what it looked like, because somebody needs to know about it.
So he called 2 TV stations. One showed up and didn't do anything about the papers. But I understood why Alan was so concerned.
It's got a diagnosis here of the patient, and then it's got where what address they're at, what location.
Our photographer, Chris, and I picked up some of the papers. Chris even found one with a patient's social security number. With people's personal information lying out in the open.
Hi, this is Leila Walsh from News 4 WOAI. How are you this evening?
I called the police to ask them to investigate. Within 5 minutes, an officer showed up and started picking up the papers. They're from Alamo Hospice. I called that organization too.
There are a number of papers in the road.
The president of Alamo Hospice came right out.
It's, very distressing to us to have that happen.
He told me he's going to contact the patients whose names are on the papers. As for how the files ended up in the middle of the road, the president said they can all be traced back to one employee.
It is a person who lost their job today, and I can't and won't say anything more about it than that, but it's theoretically, at least, that may explain part of what's happened here.
So, did that man purposely ditch the files after he was fired? We're still working to find that out tonight. We're also waiting to hear whether he is going to face charges. In all, the police and our crew collected about 100 papers. They've all been turned over to Alamo Hospice tonight. Reporting live at police headquarters downtown, Leila Walsh, News 4 WOAI.